At 11:37 p.m., there was a robbery at the Alexeev Federal Bank. Millions were stolen. The only thing left was a piece of paper with this equation. Footage shows that the suspect was armed with a high-powered water gun and jumped out of a window to escape the premises. The suspect was lowered from the third floor to street level by a fountain outside of the building. The suspect then entered a dark-colored vehicle and drove away. 3 suspects were initially identified, all of whom's alibis seemed questionable. Mr. Stokes claims that he was with Mr. Navier at the beach observing how waves break on the sand. Mr. Reynolds claims that he was at the airport for his flight back to Belfast, but evidence reveals his flight was canceled due to turbulent conditions. Mr. Bernoulli claims that he was at the club perfecting his dance moves. Medical examination of the guard's injuries reveals that the water hit him in the chest traveling at 25 meters per second. The only way that velocity could be achieved is by increasing the pressure in the weapon. The pressure gradient across the gun forces the water out of the gun when the trigger is pulled. Photo evidence confirms that the water in the gun was shot at a height of 1.5 meters above the ground. Solving the equation shows that the pressure in the weapon was 313 kilopascals. Applying that much pressure by hand would require a lot of strength. There is no way Mr. Stokes could have done that. The escape onto the fountain was timed too perfectly to have been a coincidence. At the time of the robbery, the fountain was spraying water to a height of 10 meters and then decreased to a height of 0 meters over the next minute. Using the equation that we found, there's only one way that this could have happened. The pressure gauge of the fountain was modified to change from 0 kilopascals to 981 kilopascals at the time of the crime. A thorough background check of the remaining suspects shows that Reynolds doesn't have access to the fountain controls. It could not have possibly have been him. The only suspect remaining is Bernoulli. When the robbery occurred, the nearest police officers radioed in as their vehicle would not move. The car turned on, but no fuel was supplied to the engine. The only thing this could mean is that someone had tampered with the carburetor. The carburetor functions by drawing air through a narrow passage and pulling fuel into the engine to combust. By constricting the passage through which air flows, the velocity increases, which decreases the pressure according to this equation. When we searched Bernoulli's car, we found several carburetors stuffed in a bag hidden in his trunk. It is clear at this point that Bernoulli must be the thief who stole the money and left that equation behind. Bernoulli is found guilty.
Shut up, you're going to jail.